Just yesterday, that is Friday, Lovepreet Singh, or alias Tufan Singh, was released from jail. He is a close aide of this man called Amritpal Singh, who seems to be the new poster boy for pro-Khalistan movement. Now, why this upsurge now? What is the genesis of Khalistan movement? These are things that I wanted to understand. I also wanted to understand the Khalistan movement from a right-wing perspective. What do right-wing people think about Khalistan movement? Because Khalistan is also about a communal movement, and so is the right-wing. So I wanted to understand that from the Sangh Parivar, a spokesperson of the Sangh Parivar. So I have two very important guests with me. One is Professor Kuldeep Singh. Professor Kuldeep Singh is an expert on Khalistan movement because he has written a lot of books. He has written a lot of papers on the Khalistan movement. In fact, right from the time when he was a research student, he has been focusing on the Khalistan movement. And like I said, he has written a lot of books and papers on it. And Sriraj Nair, who is the spokesperson for Vishwa Hindu Parishad. So I have these two gentlemen with me for this particular show today. So let's go right in and ask them as to what is the genesis of Khalistan movement and how does the right wing see it. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on my show. Professor Saab, I'll start my question with you. With Shree's permission, I will start my question with you, Professor Saab. Professor Saab, I want to know what is the genesis of the pro-Khalistan movement in Punjab?
So far as Khalistan movement as such is concerned, the genesis are well known. That is, it started basically with a morcha started by Akali Dal, which is known for moderate politics. Way back in 1982, the context was a water sharing agreement signed by the three chief ministers of Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, largely on the goading of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. That was December 31st, 1981. Quickly to be followed by a ceremony of digging of a canal in district Patiala by Indira Gandhi, to which Akali Dal was opposed on the ground that we would not allow Punjab waters to go to non-riparian Haryana and non-riparian Rajasthan. That's what the issue. Therefore, their counter-agitation was Nehar Roko, that is, prevent the digging of the canal. That was the morcha to begin with. Subsequently, in 1982, let me be more precise, on 4 August 1982, the Akali Dal merged this morcha with a morcha which was launched by Bhindranwale from Golden Temple. From then onwards, it was a common morcha, where by 1983, Bhindranwale virtually overshadowed moderate Akali Dal, resulting in many unwanted things, that is, innocent killings attributed to militant organizations, resulting in amassing of weapons in Golden Temple, leading to army attack in 1984, that kind of situation. See, formally, in academic circles, the beginning of Khalistan movement is traced from 1978. That was the year of Akali Nirankari clash in Amritsar on Vaisakhi Day in 1978. In fact, I was there then also as a student doing MA in political science in GNDU. See, the Khalistan movement is depicted as having ended in 1993. That is the time by which these innocent killings stopped. But still, the assassination of Beyant Singh around 1995 was the major terrorist killings. After that, we hear of these elements, but Punjab have been peaceful. So therefore, that is a brief context of Khalistan movement. But I have written on how this movement lost totally in Punjab. When I say lost totally, that was in terms of social support base among the Jat Sikh peasantry. See, at one stage, Jat Sikh peasantry supported Khalistan movement because, to begin with, it was a movement started on the issue of the moderate demands of the Akalis, like that of transfer of Chandigarh to Punjab, transfer of Punjabi-speaking areas to Punjab, this issue of river water. These were the major demands around which this morcha was launched. But this movement was captured by Bhindranwale, invoking, let me use the words, if I least I am misunderstood, he invoked this issue of injustice, which he thought, I'm not saying, which he thought was denied to the Sikhs. And this notion of injustice to the Sikhs for a very brief period of time had a sway on the Sikh masses. Therefore, at that point of time, I would say the sport base was intact, but this sport base was totally dismantled in the early 1990s because, let me very quickly spell out why and how this movement ended. That is the time by which every Punjabi, including Sikhs, became the victim of violence. Every Punjabi, including Sikhs. Correct. Meaning whereby the very people who gave immense support to this movement, they became the victim. They became the victim. Large scale of killings of the people in the rural areas, largely Sikhs, in the police, in the rural areas, from political parties, they got killed. People never knew. See, when innocent killings were happening in Punjab, the peasantry in the rural areas became the victim to this extent. They were robbed of their money. Their daughters were raped in the rural areas, not knowing who was doing it. So therefore, at that point of time, when many ill-gotten practices set in, the people of Punjab not knowing who was doing it. There are many theories who did it. There are also many explanations why it was done. But the end result was the Punjab peasantry thought it wise to withdraw from such a movement, which had reached this kind of horrendous stage, that is rapes, robberies, killings of innocent people. Therefore, movement ended that way.
Sriraji, tell me this concept of injustice to Sikhs. What is the Vishwa Hindu Parishad's view on this?
First of all, let me tell, I have a very close connection and with the Sikh community. I have grown. I was brought up in Ahmedabad, and I had so many Sikh friends. And when I was in Bombay, my room partner was Kulwinder Singh Minhas for 8 years. So I have got that loving relation with my Sikh brothers. And he is now migrated to Canada. And last week he was in Bombay, and I have so close relations. And I have my personal experience with the entire Sikh community. They are the most loving people. Now, as far as the injustice is concerned, we all know what happened in 1984 after the unfortunate death of killing of Madam Indira Gandhi, and post-violence which took place. That was not done by any particular community. That was Congress versus Sikh. It was spearheaded by Jagdish Titler, Sajjan Kumar, HKL Bhagat. Those were the people who spearheaded organized violence against the Sikh community. Otherwise,
Sriraji, I just want to go back. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Question of injustice to Sikh. So, which is not necessarily happened after 1984. Of course, that was injustice. Of course, that was bad. But I want to talk about this concept of injustice to Sikh. What is your opinion on that?
Now, Professor Saab very categorically said it is they who feel that it was injustice. But otherwise, other than this, because Sikhs have always been a part, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji is as revered to Sikhs as he is to a Malayali to me. We all worship, we all go to Gurdwara. It's a homegrown faith. It is not like Christianity or Islam or Judaism or Parsis. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was from our own revered land. Then Guru Tegh Bahadur, Guru Gobind Singh Ji laid their life for the cause of our nation and for our dharma. So there is no question, and we have all, and Sikh community has always been the most respected community and the most loving community which has contributed to the nation, and their contribution cannot be, nobody can even define that how much contribution they have given to this nation, whether it is armed force, naval forces, or even to the bureaucracy, or even the corporate world. So there is no, but it is some people, as Professor Saab rightly said, it is some people who felt it is injustice, but otherwise, post 1984, the violence, the calculated and organized violence done by a political party, spearheaded by leaders like XKL Bhagat, Sajjan Kumar, and Jagdish Titor, that definitely was injustice. Other than we are all brothers, Sikh community is, we are all one. And it is a Sikh community which has done so much for the Indian subcontinent, with the contribution of Maharaja Ranjit Singh and all, from those times, from there has been immense contribution of the Sikh community, and we have a solid brotherhood. So other than the 1984 post Indira Gandhi, I don't feel there was any other injustice, because India is a big country. Now Tamil, if you see DMK had issue, they were raising that they are meted out with injustice. We all know what happened during the Chinese War. They also started a separatist movement. Similarly, in Northeast, some states they are meted out with injustice. Even in Maharashtra, there was a section. So it's a large country. Some people will be happy, some people will be annoyed. But how justified their anger is, or that we have to see. I personally feel after post 1984 violence after the killing of Madam Indira Gandhi, there may be small stray incidents, but that cannot be termed as injustice to the whole community. That's what I feel.
Professor Saab, can you define injustice a little more elaborately?
See, without contesting what Shri is saying, I concede what he is saying, but still, I would do two things in response to what Shri has raised. Number one, let me define injustice. The context is very limited to begin with. The context is entirely the politics unleashed by, to begin with, the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, followed by Indira Gandhi. Let me tell you what is my context. This is not my context. In fact, this was the grouse of the Akalis against Congress. That was that in the mid-50s, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, or rather say Congress government at the center, created states on the basis of language. Punjab was not created. Rather, to Nehru, it was a communal demand. It was not a demand for the creation of a state on the basis of language, as was the case with other states. So Nehru continued to treat as a communal demand, therefore did not concede. Indira Gandhi also continued to treat this Punjab's demand for the creation of Punjabi Suba that way. That is, it is not a demand for creation of a state on the basis of language. It is a communal demand of the Sikhs. So that was the problem. Then there were few things in Punjab also. I am not referring to that. So therefore, when Akali Dal talked of, rather before Bhindranwale, Akali Dal talked of injustice to Punjab. That was why Punjab, on the basis of language, was not given a separate state. Number one. Number two, having created the state, why the Chandigarh, which was conceived as the capital of Punjab, why it has not been given to Punjab. Punjabi speaking areas left out have not been given to Punjab. Then the most serious grouse has been the waters flowing in the Punjab rivers going to non-riparian Rajasthan. Bulk of it going to non-riparian Rajasthan. Haryana has a different claims as a successor state to Punjab, but Rajasthan is neither successor nor riparian. Therefore, that has been a major growth. Non-acceptance of these issues was portrayed as discrimination. I think I have made things clear. Number one. Number two,
Yes.
After 94, as Shri has pointed out, situation was different. Killing of Indira Gandhi is to be seen in a context. that was context was attack on the Golden Temple. If we disconnect these two issues, meaning is totally different. Killing of Indira Gandhi as such is a different issue. If we see things in the context of attack on the Golden Temple, what historically the Sikhs, let me rephrase my sentence, very, very sensitive issue, how Sikhs had been reacting to the sacrilege to their religious places historically. Even now, see, sacrilege to religious books happened when Akali Dal BJP government was in power during previous regime 2015. Akali Dal has not been able to stage political comeback because they have been constantly cornered on the issue of sacrilege. Therefore, what I am saying is that the Indian army having attacked Golden Temple, though people talked of various options for the title is Khalistan conspiracy. Khalistan conspiracy. Now, this man happens to be son-in-law of tall leader Swaran Singh, and he was in Raw. So he was a privy to the negotiations which were going on between Akali Dal and Indira Gandhi the days before army attack on the Golden Temple. Now, his argument is Congress government headed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi deliberately created a situation where they could attack Golden Temple. So therefore, the killing of Mrs. Gandhi is to be seen in this context. Let me add one more small thing. See, at that time in the early 1980s, I was a young lecturer in Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. I remember many articles were written in prominent journals, one of which I remember very, very vividly was Economic and Political Weekly by Rajni Kothari. You know what did he say? Shiriji, please note. He said, Indian state had become communal. His reference was entirely to Mrs. Gandhi. BJP was not in the picture then. So he was labeling Indira Gandhi as, that is, he was criminalizing situation in the country for electoral purpose, and attack on Golden Temple was part of that. So therefore, the general notion of discrimination, number one. Number two, a totally different situation in the aftermath to the attack on the Golden Temple. But still, the third thing which I have said earlier, that secessionist movement totally lost its track in the early 90s because of the reason I have already spelled out.
Professor Saab, I'm sure killing of the Prime Minister of India, the then Prime Minister of India, obviously will not, it cannot be justified. I'm sure you will agree to that. You know, whatever the context are, killing a person cannot be justified. I'm sure Professor Saab will agree to it, right?
No one is justifying it. No one justifying. I am telling you the context in it which happened.
Correct. I'm not
so as to tell you, it was not a killing of a person. It was a killing of Prime Minister by people from a community who felt offended because of attack on the Golden Temple, which was widely believed was avoidable. So I have things in one sentence.
Okay, so the point that I was trying to make, Singh Saab, therefore, is that you see, whatever the context is, killing ultimately is not the solution to that. But let's go further from here. So, Singh Saab, last, before I go to Sriji, listen, you are raising a very important point. Say, that is not a solution. Even the people of Punjab, let me say Sikhs, the Punjab Sikh peasantry did not think violence to be the solution in the early 1990s when they totally abandoned these elements. See, when I compare violence, the militancy of Punjab with J&K, I tell my friends, the striking difference between the two situations is that the people of Punjab withdrew from
the movement en masse, realizing where the violence was going on. This didn't happen in J&K. Therefore, please, I would rewrite this way, that is, even the people of Punjab did not ultimately see violence to be the solution.
So, Singh Sahab, that means we are saying that Khalistan at some point, as it is the genesis of it, is a communal land that the Sikhs wanted for themselves, isn't it?
It was not a communal issue. It was a pure and simple. See, if government of India under Nehru could create different states on the basis of language, they could create in Punjab also. This was not a communal issue. It was made out to be a communal issue. That created the problem.
Sriraj,
so denial to the conceding of this demand led to this type of situation. To begin with, the demand was very simple. If under state reorganization commission, if different states were being created on the basis of language, create a state in this part of the country on the basis of language, that is Punjabi, Suba Punjab. Okay. That was the demand to begin with.
Sriraj, tell me, I want to ask you a question related to this, but slightly different. Vishwa Hindu Parishad, RSS, the Sangh Parivar talks about Hindu Rashtra, okay, which is also, the concept is again coming communal. Is that adding fuel to fire? Is that making other communities a little more insecure? Do you think that's happening?
Absolutely not. Now, I'll, like Professor Saab said about the state issue. Now, similar issue, Professor Saab, with due respect, we have in Maharashtra also. If you see, Belgaum, the majority is Marathi-speaking people, and it is now a part of Karnataka. Similarly, we have many states where this kind of issues are there. So it is not only the Punjab state which on the base of religion, on the base of language, the statehood was not given. Here in Maharashtra, we have a similar problem. Now coming to what you said, Hindu Rashtra means what? What is the definition of Hindu? Even the Supreme Court has said, other than all homegrown, like Hindu means it's a way of life. And other than Christian, Parsis, Judaism, and Islam, everybody is a Hindu. That's why even Supreme Court says. Now, even in our Ekatmatra mantra, like as I said, all Sikh gurus, even in North India, there was a system where elders son of all used to be Pagdaris. Sikhism is like I said, it is as revered to me as it is to Professor Saab. We don't consider this as it's one. I'm sure Durgana Mandir Professor Saab will be visiting also in Punjab. So there is no need to. Hindu Rashtra does not mean that it is against any community, it is against any faith, because this land has been large. Because even why did Guru Gobind Singh fought for? Why did he sacrifice his young sons? What was the cause? So that is the only thing what it means for Hindu Rashtra. That does not mean it does not have place for any other people. This is a land which gave shelter and refuge to Jews, to Muslims in Kerala. The first mosque in India, it was in Kerala, and the Malayalis gave the refuge to the Muslims. The Syrian Christians who were beaten up badly and who were prosecuted in Syria, Syrian Christians. So India is a home to everybody. The Hindu Rashtra does not mean that it has no place for others. It does not mean that at all. So there is no question of creating insecurity for anybody when we talk about Hindu Rashtra. That's what I would like to say.
When you say that Hindu means every homegrown religion here, it is your point of view. The other people also have to agree to it. It is not necessary that a Sikh or a Buddhist or a Jain would want to say that, would it?
Fair enough. Let them be. See, there is no issue that nobody has posed. No, neither we pose. We are so close brotherhood among our communities. As I said, whatever injustice happened, it was between one political party, that is Congress party versus the Sikh community. That time also, if you see the VHP, the RSS, that time Bajrang Dal was just newly formed. They have always ensured that there is brotherhood amongst us. So even today also we have so many. I am a PhD person. I visit most of the gurdwaras, and I have got very close relation with many of the granthis, almost all granthis. As I said, I am grown amongst. I can speak almost fluent Punjabi. So and that is an emotional connect. So there is no question of creating it. Whether one accepts, and we are proud that that's Sikhs. That's it.
Okay, Professor Saab, I want to ask you this question. Are concepts like Hindu Rashtra aggravating the pro-Khalistan movement, or is it not concerned? I mean, are there two different elements?
No, you are raising very important point. I would respond to this in a moment, but let me first respond to what Shri has said. See,
Please.
the kind of interconnections he's talking of between Sikhs and Hindus, he's absolutely correct. Let me tell him that the Sikhs, as in terms of this identity, is a very recent phenomenon. See, Guru Granth Sahib was compiled much earlier to the creation of this identity by the 10th Guru.
Exactly.
So the Holy Book was compiled earlier. This identity came later. In practice, the Sikhs were not listed as Sikhs in the census right up to the end of the 20th century. Till toward the end of that 19 something, this comes 20th century, beginning of the 20th century. It was only in the beginning of the 20th century that the Sikhs came to be listed as a separate community. Number one. Number two, Sikh religion doesn't believe in conversion, does not have any hostility towards other, but there is a one thing which is problematic. If somebody does anything to the Sikh religion, that's a separate question. The Sikhs are very lenient, very moderate towards others, would be the last people to deny others their freedom to preach whatever they want to preach, but it should not be derogatory to Sikh religion. So therefore, he's right. But your point, see, whatever notion these Hindu organizations have about a Hindu state, Hindu Rashtra kind of things, there are, let me be very honest, there are few bodies, organizations, radical ones, which talk of these things. That is Hindu Rashtra, depicting as if Hindu Rashtra is becoming a threat to the minorities, and Sikhs being one of them. There are people, but that is not the dominant view. Majority of the Sikhs do not feel threatened by these notions because, as I have underlined earlier, Sikhs would be the last people to deny others their freedom to preach. So Hindus have the right to preach their religion. They want to preach. It's none of the business of the Sikhs. But still, I would concede there are few radical organizations in Punjab, outfits in Punjab, which talk of the notion of Hindu Rashtra as having some implication for the Sikhs in Punjab. It's not a major issue. There is another thing. See, Shri is correct. I was hesitating to say this because it becomes a political statement. We find that ever since Modi government has come to power at the center, they have taken maximum care to be. I'm finding difficult to find a word to be careful enough to pay their respect to the Sikh gurus whenever such occasions arose. Wherever there was a occasion, the BJP government headed by Modi was extra careful to do something much more than was done by the preceding governments. So therefore, if some people talk of Hindu Rashtra notionally, doctrinally, at the same time, there is a vast majority of the Sikhs who feel this way. That is, this is the government at the center which has done maximum for remembering the Sikh gurus, observing, celebrating different occasions from time to time. Again, one of the classical example of that being that Kartarpur corridor, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi facilitating Sikhs entry to the Gurdwara associated with the first Guru Nanak Dev, that is Kartarpur Sahib. So therefore, two things run parallel. There is a very small minority of the radical organizations who talk of Hindu Rashtra having some sort of connotation for the Sikhs, but that is not the dominant view in the state.
Professor Saab, just to ask you a point then, if that was the case, then Punjab doesn't seem to be supporting Bharatiya Janata Party or voting for Bharatiya Janata Party when it comes to assembly elections. If this is the general view that Modi ji has done a lot and Modi ji is delivering a lot for Sikh community, then why is that they don't have political presence there? Yes.
2-3 things. Number one, Akali BJP alliance. BJP was in alliance with Akali Dal till recently, and Akali Dal is criticized for the latest prominent issues among Sikhs, that is the sacrilege of the Sikhs holy book during the tenure of that government. BJP might not be in the limelight, but BJP was alliance partner of Akali Dal. Number one. Number two, please note, if somebody is to rule Punjab, that person should come from within Punjab. Even Aam Aadmi Party in its first attempt failed because Aam Aadmi Party tried to impose leadership from Delhi, induct people in Delhi. BJP for long was doing it. The third thing, which I was again hesitating to share, the type of people they have inducted in BJP. Taking people from Akali Dal, taking people from Congress, taking people against whom there were very serious charges of corruption into BJP, that has not done no good to BJP. So I'm an outsider, but being an outsider, what I observe is whatever BJP is doing to strengthen its Punjab unit is not as per the ethos of the state, as per the culture of the people. I would not name anybody, but I have in mind many people who have been inducted in BJP in the recent years so as to strengthen the party, who in fact are doing a damage. I can assure you, these people being in BJP would never flourish in Punjab.
There's a lot of talk about pro-Khalistan activities increased after AAP forming a government in Punjab. What is your view on that?
My view would be, yes, definitely the present state government has been unable to tackle many things. And the kind of ruckus we have seen, this could have been avoidable. Now, these things are all the way the government is not able to control things, or the government is not able to come forward with a dialogue with these parties. This will increase animosity amongst the community. So the present government definitely should have taken more care that, people outside our land, or people sitting beyond our borders, especially in Pakistan, they should not take undue advantage of our internal small infightings, and it should not grow to a big problem. So it is a leader. We should have mature leaders in Punjab. Not the present government, I feel, has been somewhere it has failed to do so. Unlike in the past, as we say, named about the martyred Bian Singh Saab and many other leaders, who KPS Gill Saab. There has to be a proper dialogue rather than aggravating the problems. So there, I definitely feel this present government should do something more, not to create animosity amongst people, or not to allow manbhed and matbhed in what we say in Hindi among Sikh brothers. And this will, and eventually what will happen is foreigners and India's enemies will take advantage of this. We have to be strongly united, and that feeling has to be there amongst, and we have to ensure that kind of the government sitting in Punjab has to ensure that feeling comes in everyone. So this, there I feel that the current Bhagwant Mann government has little bit they should have done a bit more.
Singh Saab, what is your opinion? Do you think that things have become worse after AAP government took over Punjab?
My answer is yes. But having said yes, let me tell you why and how this has happened. See, this Waris Punjab Day, this is the name of the organization, Waris Punjab Day. Waris means the successors or custodians, whatever. This was the outfit created by a person, Deep Sidhu, during farmers' movement in Delhi borders. Now that man is no more. He died in an accident. A person called Amritpal Singh, as a successor to him, has suddenly become chief of Waris Punjab Day, the body which was founded by Deep Tillon, and they are indulging in many activities like Amrit Prachar, kind of things, preaching the cause of Sikh identity, talking of Sikhs being the slaves in this country, and eventually, of course, as it is feared widely in the country, they are preaching this ideology of Khalistan. See, this has happened in a context that is the issue of this secularism, to which I have referred, which took place during the tenure of a previous Akali BJP government in 2015, that is lurking still in the political atmosphere of Punjab. Now, that's a big issue. Therefore, the Aam Aadmi Party, I am not defending Aam Aadmi Party, I am just telling you what was in the mind of Aam Aadmi Party, which did not allow it to act the way it should have acted. That is, they turned out to be very lenient toward these people. Whereas, let me say this way, I also agree with you that present Aam Aadmi government will have to soon draw a line as to from where these people are to be stopped. These people cannot be allowed to indulge in the activities they are indulging in the long run. I am also sure that Aam Aadmi Party will do something. No, that is true. But also please note that though these are very visible people, Deep Sidhu, who died before the last election, he went in favor of Simranjit Singh Maan before the election, before he died. See, Sidhu also died in the course of the election. People believed that at least Simranjit Singh Maan would win because Deep Sidhu, who was chief of this body, Waris Punjab Day, would win. He lost badly. Meaning whereby even despite the fact that Deep Sidhu was killed, it didn't make any difference in the rural Punjab so far as his electoral appeal was concerned. And subsequently, when his Bhog ceremony took place, around 2 lakh people assembled in a Gurdwara in Fatehgarh Sahib. People saying that, look, how many people are supporting them. See, I tell them, 2-3 lakh people in Punjab having this type of identity, who are very visible, preaching Khalistan, that has always been the case. But I would still say they are a very small minority, because this land of Punjab is no longer a fertile ground for the preaching of ideology of Khalistan, because Punjab have paid a very heavy price, number one. Number two, many demographic changes have taken place in Punjab, which do not allow such an ideology to create any respectable place on the territory of the Punjab. Though, as normally happens, people widely fear the way this recent incident took place on the border in a town called Ajnala, where they took a holy book of the Sikhs inside the police station, which incapacitated police. See, it is being widely condemned among the Sikhs that, see, look, Guru Gobind Singh, when he left Anandpur Sahib Anandpur Sahib fort, when he left Anandpur Sahib fort along with his 4 sons, 2 were killed at a place called Chamkaur Sahib, 2 were bricked alive in Fatehgarh Sahib, His mother died. He also died subsequently. So whole family was eliminated within no time. Guru Gobind Singh didn't take holy book for fighting his war, though it was the war of the community. So these people took holy book to police station for settling a personal dispute. So people are very agitated that this man, that is Amritpal Singh, misused the holy book of the Sikhs for a very narrow-minded personal cause.
Correct.
So that is the situation at present in Punjab, according.
The sacrilege of the Guru Granth Sahib was bad. It was shameful act, which happened in 2015. But this sacrilege was used as a political campaign tool in 2017 by almost every political party, in 2022 by every political party, including AAP. Shri, tell me, isn't this political fanning, this communal fanning that happened in Punjab, isn't that also a cause of this resurrection of the pro-Khalistan activist?
Yes, before I could answer it, Professor Saab has clarified many things. In fact, I don't want to repeat that. Definitely, for narrow personal reasons, raking up a holy book like Guru Granth Sahib is absolutely wrong. We should keep our faith, our dharmic asthas away from politics. Politics is one aspect. Politics is something very different than our astha. So anybody, for that matter, whether it is any kind of our dharmic asthas, should be kept away from politics. So here in Punjab also, as rightly Professor Sam said, the present government should ensure that people with vested interest should not be allowed to take advantage of the situation, and they should not flare up issues and play with people's emotions. That's what I believe. And as I said, now I just got a message. The first case FIR was as far as Ram Mandir. Ram Mandir को लेकर पहली FIR अयोध्या में 30 नवंबर 1858 में सिखों के विरुद्ध हुई थी. And that is a copy. And this is what history is saying. So that is the oneness that Hindu Dharma and our Sikh brothers have. While on debates on many channels, senior advocate KTS Tulsi Sahib used to always say, Guru Nanak Dev Ji visited Ayodhya and prayed at the Ram Janmabhoomi. So that is the closeness and oneness which we have. So the similar oneness and the similar brotherhood should be ensured by the political party which is ruling Punjab today, and they should ensure that outsiders, the enemy countries, should not take advantage of of some people who are breaking up the emotions of people. That's what I think.
Just to add a question here before I come to Singh Sahab, Sriraj, Astha and religion should be kept away from politics. Would you say the same to even the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders?
See, definitely. See, here both are different aspects. When what context you are talking about? Bharatiya Janata Party does not rake up religion.
I am talking the context you spoke. I'm talking in the same context you spoke. You said dharma and astha should be kept away from politics. My question is, would you ask the same question? Would you give the same recommendation to Bharatiya Janata Party leaders?
See, this is a nation of indigenous people. Sikh community is not, it's a homegrown, it's our homegrown faith. Now, what is Bharatiya Janata Party talking about? It is ensuring that the homegrown faith should survive. So talking about Kashi, Mathura or Ram Mandir is nothing. The temples which were destroyed, in that context only talking, in that terminology, Bharatiya Janata Party is not wrong. So their dharma and nationhood is one. But here, taking undue advantage for personal vendetta or for personal political gains or whatsoever, as Professor Saab rightly said, that should be avoided.
Okay, Professor Saab, this question to you. The fanning of communal divide, hasn't it worsened the matters as far as Punjab is concerned?
See, the context is entirely political. Let me remind you, Congress swore by secularism, continued to use religion for political purpose, making political scientists to write that Indian state under Indira Gandhi had become communal. BJP is a different category. BJP does not hide its agenda so far as Hindu Rashtra is concerned, so far as their commitment to religious place is concerned. Likewise, in Punjab also, Akali Dal is a party which talks of inseparability of religion and politics. If you go to Golden Temple, there are two poles in Akal Takht. One is Miri, one is Piri. One is meant for religious purposes, other is meant for temporal affairs. Symbolically conveying that religion and politics run parallel. So these are now. It is a fact that political parties use religion for political purposes. So in Punjab also, these issues you talked of this secular issue starting in 2015, used in 2017, in 22, it is still pending. See, in this context, let me tell you, it was widely used against BJP in 2017 and in 2022 against Congress also, because Congress didn't do much for tackling this issue of secularism. Let me tell you that only yesterday the charge sheet has been filed by the government on the basis of the investigation which was going on for long. Please note one thing. To talk of secularism in politics is one thing. To tackle this issue legally is another thing. When we talk of secularism issue in politics, we put things, exaggerating many claims and counterclaims. When it comes to law takes its own course. That is, for example, even if the ruling party of that time had a strategy to disperse people who had assembled on the issue of secularism, resulting in firing. In the process, 2 people were killed. Whether chief minister, in order to maintain law and order, could order this or not, that is a larger question. So therefore, you can criticize Badal being chief minister during whose tenure this secularism took place. But when it comes to tackling this issue legally, that is a altogether different dimension. We do not know what would happen to this long investigation which went on in the court, because court has its own parameters for deciding issues. That's the problem.
Professor,
and that would.
Professor, sorry, Professor, I have to interrupt because I've got exactly 60 seconds with me. So I need to just ask you both last question in 30 seconds, please. Shriyaj, how do we end this problem? How do you think we get to a amicable solution? Quickly, 30 seconds.
So, first of all, I don't feel there is a problem. If there is a problem, it's a family issue, and in a family we should sit together and talk to each other. Sikhs are not only in Punjab; they're spread all over India. Even we have Sikh community in Kerala, Assamese speaking Sikhs, Telugu speaking Sikhs. In Maharashtra, we have large number of Marathi speaking Sikhs. We have Nanded Sahib here. So Sikhism is not only confined to one region. Sikhism is we have Patna Sahib. So if there is a family issues, like in family, when we sit together and some elders come and give guidance. Similarly, we are one family. We should sit jointly with some elders guiding everybody and sorting out the problem. That's it. We are one and nobody can separate us. That's what I can say.
Nobody can separate us. Singh Saab, your views, 30 seconds.
See, religion as such is no problem. If religion is preached the way it should be preached, there would not be the problems, the kind of problems we are discussing today. The problem is when religion is used in a narrow-minded way for consideration of electoral politics. That is the consideration which has done maximum damage in Punjab. That is, at one point of time, Akali Dal used this Dera chief who is in jail now. Then subsequently they gave him pardon. So that kind of selective use of political personalities, political people, and in the process distorting religion, that creates problem. If that stops, then better sense can prevail even in Punjab.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. It was indeed a pleasure talking to you as usual. Thank you so much.